Elu asurin v'oisrin b'chol. The following items are asur. You can't eat them. You can't benefit from them. And if they fall into a mixture, they prohibit
Oh, okay.
even b'mashu with any amount. So yain nesech, it means there's no bittul. Avodah Zara, oros levuvin, these are hides of an animal where they remove the heart of the animal because they offered it to Avodah Zara. Shora niskal, a shore that gored 3 times and was declared guilty of skila, it's asr bana. Egla rufa, when they do the procedure of egla rufa, they designate a calf that's going to be decapitated. Let's say that calf gets mixed up with other agolois, so everything becomes asr. Tzipor mitzoira, birds that are used to purify a mitzora. If they fly into a flock of other birds, all the birds are asr. Seyar nazir, the hair that is cut off of a nazir, it's asr. Peter chamor, when you do a exchange for a chamor, ubasar b'cholav. Now, a drop of basar b'cholav is mizbatel the 60, but let's say you have a piece of meat that was infused with less, with milk, and there's more, not 60 times, that fell into other pieces of meat. It's there's no bittul of that. That's like a davar miskabed. We're talking about like a nice piece of steak where such a thing is there's not going to have bittul. V'chulin shenishchatu bazara. Sorry, Sharem Eshtaleach, the goat that is sent into the desert on Yom Kippur. Chulun Shenishchut Azarik, Elu Asorin v'Oisrim b'Kolshu. So, Tana Michael Chashiv. How is this Tana understanding things? Idover Shebeminion Kachashiv. Does he hold that anything that you count, for example, a dozen eggs, and so kol dover shebeminion, is that what asers a teruvis? So listening nami nevela, chatichos nevela, pieces of nevela. Nevela is aser bachila, but not necessarily bana. But it's also, if it's a dover shebeminion, these things are counted, and it would prohibit the whole mixture. And if you're telling me it has to do with isurei hanoach chashiv, listening nami chametz bepesach. Right? You left out an item that clearly is also by Nocha Mitzvah Pesach. Amr Rav Chia Barava v'yitem Rav Yitzchak Nafcha. Hai Tana Tarti Isli. He needs 2 Gedorim. Dover Shebeminion and Yisrei Hana. These are things that are sold by count, and they're Asr Bana. V'lisni Egozei Perach v'Rumine Badan. There are certain type of walnuts that are very important, and certain types of pomegranates that are very important, if they're orla. Davar shebeminion v'Yisrael, no. Why did they list those? So the Gemara says, they're mentioned in Masechta Orla. So we don't have to mention again here. Right? Haroila, orla, roila, klak So they were already mentioned. I v'lisni ki kor shabalabayis. A loaf of a balabayis, which is a davar chashiv, lin chametz bepesach. It's a davar shebeminion, it's asr bana. So man sham is to Omer lei. Who's the Tana that holds of this? Rabbi Kiva. Ha-Tana lei hasam Rabbi Kiva moisef afki kor shabalabais. So according to Rabbi Kiva, he would add this as another example of something that gets mixed into a mixture with asr b'kolshu. So the Hare Elu, these and not others, Limu'ute Mai, what does it come to exclude? Limu'ute Dover Shebeminion, V'lav Yisrael, something that is counted, but is not Osir Bana, that they're not in this list. Or Inami, Limi'itur Israel, V'lo Dover Shebeminion, things that are Osir Bana, but not necessarily counted. Yain nesach shenafal lebor. Wine, yain nesach, falls into a pit of wine. Kulo asr bana. The whole thing becomes asr bana. Reb Shimon Gamliel Omer, no. You mocher, sell the wine in the bor. Kulo lagoy. Now, a Jew cannot drink it. But a goy can drink it. Subtract the value of the yayin nesach, chutz mibeyan nechsmo, and you can sell it. And Amarav Allah Rav Shimon Gamliel. That's chavis bechavis. Barrel of wine, yayin nesach, gets mixed up with barrels of wine of yayin nesach, but not if you dump the yayin nesach into the wine. Avalo yayin biyayin. But Shmuel Amar filu yayin biyayin. Even if you mix yayin biyayin, you can use the set of Rav Shimon Gamliel. V'chein Amar Rav Yochanan Rav Yochanan afilu yayin biyayin. V'chein Amar Shmuel Bar Nosson Rav Chanina afilu yayin biyayin. V'chein Rav Nachman Amar Rav Hua afilu yayin biyayin. Amar Rav Nachman aloch lamaisa yayin nesach. Yain biyayin osir. That mixture is prohibited. Chavis bechavis mutter, where you could sell it and deduct the value of the yain nesach. Stam yain, if you don't know for sure if it's yain nesach, I feel yain biyayin mutter if you can sell it. Gash 11, you have a pit made out of stone, and people would with their feet, they would crush grapes to make, wine. And shazov sagoy, and a goy put pitch, lined this pit with pitch. So magva, you can wash it, v'hitoira, and it'll be matire this place. You use water and ash. Now, if it's made of eights, it's made of wood, not stone. Rebbe Omer Yenagev. Again, water and ash. That's negiva. Yiklov, that does it. You have to sort of peel away the pitch. And if the pit was made out of cheres, pottery, cheres, it absorbs too much. And you can't peel it away. Amravadavka, a pit shezovsa, that you need to clean it. Aval, if dorachba, if the goy just stepped on the wine there, and they didn't do the pitch, it doesn't require nikuv. Just rinse it. So pshita zavsa tana. Why would we think any different? The Mishnah clearly says zavsa. The same way in afilu dorachba, even without the sif, just stepping on it. Haidik tani zavsa. Because that's the normal way. Kamash Malon did no. Only if he lined it with pitch, you have to use niguv. Aval darach balo sagilo beniguv, you need more than niguv. So pshita zavsatnan, about the same uadin shafilu. Darach baz enough niguv. I diktani zavsa orcha de milsaktani. Kamash Malon dafka zavsa, that's enough with niguv. Aval darach balo sagilo beniguv. It's not enough. Somebody came in front of Rav Chia. Come and give me somebody who will be matire me this pit that I bought from a goy. Go, but behave in a way that they're not going to laugh at me at the base medrash. It was covered with pitch. It was very smooth. Omar, hayvada b'niguv sagila. This is enough, just niguv, because it doesn't absorb. Bahari v'ka'azal v'asi. When he came back, chazav pila mituta v'chazav dava malei chamra. He inspected it more carefully, and he saw a crack underneath the pitch, and there was a lot of wine there. Omar halu sagila b'niguv ela b'kilav. Now I understand why niguv is not enough. You got to peel it off because you got to get down to underneath it. Hainu normally Chavivi, his uncle Rav Chia Chazi Make sure you don't make a fool of me in the yeshiva. Torah bar. A gat, the pit, hamachatz, which is a pail, v'ameshapech shall go. All this belongs to goyim that are made out of cheres. Rebbe matir beniguv. Rebbe says you can use mayim and ash to clean it. Chachavim moisrim. Umoyde Rebbe kankanim shall goyim shenasurim. Smaller jugs, he agrees that they're usur. Ma'afresh ben zelazeh. What's the difference? Zeh, the jug, machnisu bekiyum. You put wine in there, it sits there for a long time. The other things, it's just a pail that transfer from one to another. And machnisu bekiyum. You don't sit, so therefore it doesn't absorb as much. But if the gat was made out of wood, or the machatz, or the pail, or the mashpech, the item that you use to pick up the wine and put it into another kli, if it's made of shel eitz for shel even, you nagev. You clean it. If they were lined with pitch, asurin. Nigu would not be enough. The gas, if it was with pitch, was tor with nigu. Masnisen is talking about lo dorach ba. Nobody stepped on grapes in there. The baraisa is shedorach ba, and therefore it would be osir. Omer mar. Hagat ve'amachetz v'ameshapech. If these things were made out of pottery, shall goyim. Rabbi mater beniguv. Rabbi says you can purify with niguv. The chachamim moisrim. Ay v'nan shel cheres av b'shakov zazev zareizu asura. How could Rabbi Matir, our Mishnah said, if it's made out of pottery, even if you were koilef, it's usr. Amar of a sefer to masnis nasan rabbana. This is not Rabbi. We went back to the Chachamim. Dorish Rabbah, Nava Artuchu, that they cleaned it with boiling water when there was yain of goyim in there. Rava Kiyavi Mishader Gulfi, when he would send empty jugs to a place called Harpanya, he would flip them upside down and put them in the bag. And then he would seal the opening of the bag. Ksavar, kodavar shemachnisu l'kiyum, anything that was used where wine was put in it to store for a long time, afilu fisho goes rabbanim. The Chacham made a gzeira, and you have to stay away from it. B'mem and nagvin. How do you do niguv? Rav Omer b'mayim, with water. Rav Archana Omar, no be'efer. Rav Omer b'mayim, so b'mayim v'lo be'efer. Rav Archana Omar be'efer, u've'efer yit v'lo b'mayim, ella Rav Omer b'mayim v'uadin le'efer. You have to use both. Rav Archana Omar le'efer v'uadin le'mayim. You have to use both. Okay. Tomorrow, I guess, until we have the minyanim